Hey, what's up, everybody? I know most people love the music today, but not today. The show asks if your show today is basically stating, do you increase in value with children, age, education, body count? Hmm. I think that's a very interesting certain number. And I'm going to tell you, the answer is it depends really on the sex. Some people may hate it. Some people may say that's not fair, but I'm sorry. Certain criterias are going to have a standard for different genders. A lot of times, we'll get people who say, hey, I want you to get with these single mothers and you're a brother without kids. Is that fair to you? No, no. You're telling me that it's correct for him to start and take care of somebody else's legacy, but the hell with his. That's not right and that's not fair. Let's break down each criteria as we see it. Each criteria. We're going to start with the children. Well, a lot of ladies out there, your children are representative to a man that a man was previously there. Even if he doesn't say much, it's always going to be in the back of his mind. Along with children comes what? Their father. So that means she's forever connected to some other dude. Forever and ever and ever. What's up, everybody? So, even for a man, you got the average woman saying, I don't want no baby mama drama. But at the same time, when a guy's with a child and he shows that he's taking care of the child, it carries different weight because responsibility looks good on men. I hate to say it, but that's how the world looks on you. So things are going to be a little different. When you have children, that man who you want to be a provider has to provide for somebody else's seed, somebody else's legacy, somebody else's responsibility. So men are going to look at that a lot differently than women will, especially nowadays, where it's going to be more critical. It's going to be to the point where a lot of brothers are starting to forego being with a chick and just waiting their options elsewhere. So children are not a upswing or an increase in the value for women, where it's a maybe to a value increase for men. Like I said it before, it's it's a responsibility thing. If responsibility looks good on men, so it brings them up higher in status. Gonna look at the next criteria, man. Is age. I know a lot of people get mad with the age comment, but is it true that men get better with age? I know. I looked at the roommates and they said, well, a lot of men aren't doing too well. And what I would tell them is that's bullshit. That's complete and utter bullshit. Because one, when women from 15 to about 30 pretty much are rock stars, they get a lot of male attention. They get a lot of benefits. They get into VIP. They get a lot of shit going for them. Compared to men, we have to really earn our spot. It's the old saying of women are human beings and men are human doings. Okay. So when you look at age, when a woman's closer to her prime beauty, she holds a distinct advantage. But when a man hits around 35, how about 30, 35, he's kicking it. He's going to usually start the uptake of his money, of his income. He's going to be a bit more worldly, traveled. He's going to be able to probably at that time grow a full beard. Get up there, get into his knowledge of self, and comfortable. And then if he takes care of his body, you got something called a silver fox, meaning the guy can have gray hair but have a great physique, or a decent one at least. That's kind of hard for women to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's much harder, especially if she had children. She would, in order for her to have a phenomenal body, she would have to be extremely disciplined. Extremely disciplined. But once again, the competition between men and women is different than from men is different from women, excuse me. Because an unmarried 30 plus, 40 plus year old woman is competing against 21-year olds, 25-year olds, 27-year olds. And everybody's trying to get the new model, if you know what I mean. For men, we're not really in competition with the younger ones. And I could prove that in high school. All the girls who were freshmen wanted the senior guys. What does that tell you? Hypergamy. Ain't it grand? So being older, having more access to things, increased wealth is always going to be a benefit to them compared to being 15 to 20. The world is a woman's oyster usually, especially if she's at least a seven. If she's a seven, she's getting her way. In some cases, you might even see a six get their way. In a lot of cases, not as much as the upper echelon of beauty, but a six, just a cute girl, we get a lot of stuff going for her. But once again, we got to look at how men age. You know, like my man said, we age like wine or fine cognac. That worldliness looks great on us. And not only for, and speaking of age, you got to remember a woman who takes care of her body is always going to prolong her prime. She's going to prolong it. She's at least going to be in the network. She may not get all the looks she got at 21, but even at her late 30s, if she keeps a great body and physique, she'll still be in the runnings. Yes, she's in the danger zone, like Kevin Samuel said, but at least she's in the runnings. You got some women who are 30, whatever, who, because their body is so ravaged, they were never competitive to begin with. You could say the same for men, but men's bodies don't go through the hustle and bustle as much as women, due to childbirth and other things, and the fact that women carry more fat naturally. So, got to be careful with that age thing, especially when you're getting older. Diet's got to change up some. Put down the sweets. Put down the sweets some, or a lot. Even though I'm eating candy right now, but it's a cheat day. We're gonna go to the next one, man. Education. Education. that's a that's a sticky topic right there. Sticky topic. Education is a two-headed sword. For men, education is one of those crowning achievements because I can put education and training. If a person has a trade or a profession, skill, or a college degree, it's one of those things where it'll put you in that upperly mobile position, especially for black men, because a lot of us are not in that box when it comes to economics, higher level of learning. So he has the ability to choose and pick and have his pick of the litter. It's almost diametrically opposed for, let's say, for black women. The higher they go in education, the least likely they'll get married and the least likely they'll find a mate on their level. And this is where a lot of the bitterness starts to begin, not knowing that there's a lot of things that play pivotal parts into the lack of a black man's education. There's a lot of it. So when, let's say, you take that black man and he becomes a lawyer and he's surrounded by other people with JDs, PhDs, MDs, especially when he's in his ilk, in his area, he's going to be rare. Every woman wants him. Every guy wants to be him. That's why when a lot of these chicks say, I want to find a guy on my level, you got to remember, were you competitive enough to get that guy on your level? Do you have what he's looking for that he wants you on the level? Okay. I mean, let's be serious. There are some women who had issues with their weight. They got disciplined and they got it done. Excuse me, folks. Now, back to the situation. that education piece, which a lot of modern women have been taught that, hey, if I get my education, I can get any access to any man I want. Nope. Men like the fact that you can have an intelligent conversation, but typically they don't care about your education, about your character more than your education. You can have high education, you have multiple doctorates, but if you lack character, if you lack social etiquette, no man wants to be near you. Unfortunately, when even a guy who's educated, he could be a dick. He can kind of be a dick. And guess what? People will still feel value in him. Is it fair? No, it's probably never going to be fair. A lot of people may whine and cry about it, but it is what it is. There's some things women can do that men can't. There's some things that men can do that women can't. So when you keep up with your womanly and your cordial etiquette, it's very rare that you'll be with by yourself. We got Toya Son in Love. We got Sir Out of Bayou. Ayongo Savage, the Macho Man, A.L. Evans, Be Honest, Shock. Oh, Snowman's in here. Let's see what else is on the criteria board. The most interesting one, body count. There are so many times I get in conversations with women and say, why can men always sleep with all these women and be claimed a hero, and women sleep with a lot of guys she's a hoe? Very easily. I'll explain that. For a man to sleep with a lot of women, that actually takes some skill. He's actually gotta have some skill when it comes to courting, charming, whatever you want to call it, some game. He's got to have a lot going for him to get that number of women. It's the key in the lock thing. They say a key that can open any lock is a master key and it's very highly valued. But a lock that lets any key open it is a shitty lock and it's not valued at all. So when we go through things in that nature, we have to understand that when it comes to sex, usually it's going to be predicated upon the man more so the female. He has to be skilled in many different areas. Not saying women don't have to be, but hey, he's got to be the catalyst. He's got to start it up. He's got to be the guy who keeps the motion in the ocean. No matter how wet you get, no matter how wet it is, he's got to make it. He's the one who's got to make the waves. So that body count is usually a hot topic. Hey, Shonda, why can't we have the hot girl summers? Because in men's eyes, we love sluts. We'll admit to you that we love sluts. We just not going to marry you. We're not going to take you seriously. That's why, when you're in your prime years as a woman, those are your best chances of getting a husband. And unfortunately, modern society has not told women about their unique gifts and advantages to say, hey, this is the best time for you to get a husband. Nope, I'm going to fuck the football team and the basketball team in the same week. And all you got to do is get your name spread around, and people are going to be like, oh, she's the easy one. That's why, the women who play hard to get are looked at as valuable. The women who are like very difficult, it takes a while. The courting process is long. Men typically see that as, okay, she's worth something. I mean, anybody. I'll put the link in the chat in a minute if anybody wants to agree or disagree. But that body count thing, mm-mm. I had to tell a friend of mine, men don't like lands that's already been conquered. We typically don't like that. It's very hard to accept that. KP said they need to look at themselves like first round draft picks after graduation. If they make it through college and didn't get drafted for marriage, then they failed. Um, I'm a bit, I'm a little bit more lenient. I'll give you till like around 25, 27. 25, 27. Even though a lot of women back in the day used to get married at 21, 22, 23. My mother was married at 23. I don't know why. But I guess it's because of this indoctrination that tells women to wait, prolong your family, and capture your career, your degree. I was just listening in on the Kevin Samuels and Kendra G, I guess, conversation or debate, and look what happened. She says, "Well, I prolonged having a family for my career, and I don't have any regrets." But yet, she's the same chick who froze her eggs at 41, 42 years old. Hmm. But yet, she's noticing and she's mad because she's been around A-list celebrities. She might even slept with them. I'm not saying that is what happened, but I'm gonna say that a lot of those a lot of those people who actually are in those predicaments will say they don't regret anything, but notice how those biological clocks be ticking. Not even ticking, they're already alarmed, just like somebody pulled the fire alarm. Bang, gotta have a baby. And then you got to have a geriatric pregnancy at 41, 42, 43, if it's, and that's if it's possible. So I look, I use that as a very good demonstration of, okay, you have an attractive 40 something year old woman who had men propose to her, but she took it as a joke. But at the same time, she's like, why hasn't, oh God, send me a husband? I did, you friend zoned him. And a lot, and I look at it as the men. A lot of men, I would suggest, need to marry later in their lives and not. I never understood getting married in your 20s when you're not stable to take care of yourself. And you're putting untold pressure and burdens on yourself. It works for some. I'll give it up to you. But when you view things in the scheme, you're looking at them in a very valuable thing. Well, there's children. I look at it as if I had to tell my son, start a family where you can afford it. You must have a career before you have a family because you're a man and provisions are always going to be predicated on you, regardless if she works or not. When the family's broke, they're not going to look at the woman, they're going to look at you. When, excuse me, just like when we look at the education of a child, they typically more than likely look at the mom because they call her the first teacher. Just like the protection of the family is going to be on the hands of the father. Not saying the father doesn't educate his children, but they're going to look at the mom and say, okay, why didn't you teach him this? So we look at these criterias and we like to see where we fit. But unfortunately, a lot of people actually drink the Kool-Aid and believe that we're all equal. And unfortunately, we're not. Unfortunately, let's say if I got married to a woman my age, we're engaged, okay, 6 months or a year later, we're both 40. 40 for a man is usually different for a woman. I've had women tell me that I need space and I need to work on my PhD and you're 39. I had to, and I'm like this, hey, go ahead. And the same lady still believed that she still had the same options as she did at 30, as she did at 39, the same options at 39 as she had at 25, the same options at 21 as she has at 30. She thinks that in her head. And lo and behold, the answer is going to be no. And this is for an average looking woman. Average. Compared to men, we have workarounds. There are certain things that we're not going to be as predicated on. We're going to have workarounds. Our success, our money, our masculinity will carry us a lot more than our beauty. Nobody really gives a fuck if we look good or not. It helps. I mean, it puts you over the edge, but it's not predicated. It's not predicated on as much as beauty is for women. So you're going to be a year older, almost out the faction of having children, even though she adopted one, and you have no real history of being with a man or living with a man. No real history. And I think that also hurts a lot of modern women as well. Where men, and especially in the black community, we're taught to be a bit more social, egalitarian. We're a bit more sociable than even our women are. As soon as you say something, but most of our women, and that hurts them a lot. I mean, really, think about it. If we can't even get them to smile at black men, why will we approach you? Why will we have a conversation? Smiling by itself is a warming, opening thing. I don't want to smile because I don't want no nigga to bother me. Okay. Hmm. Mars said, "This is funny and off topic, but my cousin was talking to this girl, and she's a single mother of three. She asked him, 'What can you do for me?' My cousin started singing, 'Can I put my balls in your jaw?'" Well, that's a little bit different. What can you do for me? But, like Kevin said, what can you give a man that you haven't already given another man? Why do you got to raise the stakes for me? But yet, that guy, all he had to do was show up with a cheesesteak and some fries and half, and he was in there. What benefit did he have that I that I'm not going to get? And many a times, you're not even going to treat me as wonderful and as awesome as the next guy, as the last guy. Sorry. Cortez Smith said they have what's called avoidant avoidant personality disorder. That's why they hate smiling at men. Oh yeah, they're just pissed off creatures. A lot of them pissed off creatures. I mean, they got the personality of your Gerald Harmer, cantankerous, want to fight all the damn time, violent tendencies. It's not cute. Sorry about that. I'm back. But we also have to see where things are different on each side. Just like if you gave men the responsibility of the children, then okay, you had to blame us for the failures of the children. But since we don't have our own children and things of that nature, you got to look at who has the majority of them. You got to see the criteria. And unfortunately, for a lot of people out there, you have some guys who are just as delusional as the women. Like, I want the woman to be fit, this, that, and the fourth, and not. And but yet, you can't afford to take care of her and your future kids. You got to be realistic and honest. You got to be real. You got to be real honest with yourself. Everybody wants to date a 10, but a 10 is a lot of fucking responsibility, ladies and gentlemen. A 10 is some heavy shit. An 8, 9, a 10 is some heavy shit on a guy who's not used to that. If you're one of those guys who usually date average women and you bagged yourself a 10, 8, 9, or 10, that's going to be a heavy burden to pay. especially since if she's vastly prettier, a woman should be at least one or two. Like at least one. If you're a six and she's a one, I mean she's a seven. Okay, you could deal with that. But if you're talking about if you're a five and she's a nine, oh my God, she's gonna run you like a goddamn Olympics. She's gonna have so much power in that relationship. And that's when you have something called simping. Say it with me now. I know you can. You're gonna have that guy who's gonna take all kinds of verbal, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual abuse from that woman because he thinks that he can't do any better. One second, folks. My son's gonna ask me something. But yeah, we got to be able to see what we're going to get out of a lot of this stuff. It's like the other day I was on Roger's panel and he said, I'm trying to say the community. And I just stopped him. I said, who said we were a community in the first place? Like, have we ever truly been communal? Have we ever truly been communal? And being a community is actually thriving, owning a lot of the businesses and occupations of your community. And in some ways, you can say the answer is no. The only reason we were a community is not because we saw great things within each other. It was just a moment of survival and miscegenation laws. We we don't have any value for each other like we used to, if we had any at all. And things weren't done so much willingly; it was begrudgingly. Oh, I'm gonna do this for this man because I can't do that backbreaking labor. But once you gave women that right to work and she could make her own money, what she say? I don't need you. And then look where we are now. The communities are worse. The kids are less educated. Things are just as destroyed and destructive. But yet, for some odd reason, we're still trying to save something that does not want to be saved. Why? And shout out to Roger, one of the habitual line steppers. Got nothing but love for him. I'm a little bit more pessimistic. I'm a little bit more black pill. I don't see too much hope in this shit. I don't. I look out and I see the black community not as a wounded creature, but as a creature that wants to commit suicide. Because at least a wounded creature is still going to fight for its survival. At least a wounded creature is going to try to protect the next generation. What we're doing as black Americans right now, yes, we piss, black men do piss greatness, but this whole communal thing is something that was really pretty much non-existent. It was the great lie. You can't expect black women overall. I mean, there's a few, but overall, you can't expect them to value their men when they've been educated from the longest time, the last 50, 60 years, that their men are beneath them. Their men are the enemy. BGS and I talked about how this black female lawyer shut down an all black school because she didn't want them to learn patriarchy. She didn't want them to learn leadership. This is our supposed women. And how many times are we, when we compare it to your education, your age, your children, your body count, are we getting the best of the best when we're looking for mates in our community? The answer is hell no. There's women who wouldn't have dated me, but once they got about 2 or 3 kids, oh, I look like a viable option. Nope. I had a woman one time say, "Oh, we can't go out, but can I borrow $300? I'll give it back." Nope. It's never about your character. It's what you can do for me lately. Even though you have a bigger body count, you're getting older, you have children, and your education has went to your head. I really want to know, is this what we're fighting to save? Why save somebody who's fighting to jump into the fire? Why save somebody who wants to go head first from the helicopter into a volcano? And as soon as you reach down, you're going to be burned. There was this picture that BGS put up the other day. It was a black man chained to a tree, stretching out his arm towards the black woman in the lake who has the ball and chain on her ankle. On her right hand, she has a key, but she's stretching out her left hand. Black women can give you the keys to restarting and saving this community, but they rather see the world burn than let you be the leaders. They don't want leaders, they want figureheads. I noticed even when I did the comparison to men and women in some specific ways, black men and black women, guess what? How many people are actually going to take heed and listen to the game that I'm telling a lot of young black men and a lot of young black women? Yo, you might want to get married at this time because if you get past this age, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be damn harder, significantly harder. And what's going to happen is sooner or later, it's going to be really, really hard for women. Oh, good old Crown Vic, still rumbling. It's going to be harder for them to survive. It's going to be harder for her to raise children. You can only rust on your laurels for so many times and look down upon your men. You know, disease don't give a damn. They have no race loyalty. They have no race loyalty. So don't think that your teenagers now are going to be loyal to your daughters because they are in the same ethnic group. Hell no. Remember, you wanted to move into the county, get a nice house with the white folks? Guess what happens when you move with the white folks? little Davon start getting his looks and start being socialized around little Rebecca. And I keep telling black women, why do you wear hair that's not natural or natural style? But then you complain about your son's dating white girls who he's gonna look at you with your contacts that's making your eyes light, and he's gonna say, well, if mom dressing like a white woman, I might as well get the actual factual. You put them in these schools, and they're saying, well, we don't give a shit. We're gonna date whoever's best for us. We're not gonna do this race war shit. We're gonna be loyal to whoever's loyal to us. And I'm getting kind of sick of certain shit. Even though I'm ranting a little bit, I'm getting sick of shit where people don't even put into their minds the best parts of their age, the best parts of their survival for the next 10 years, the best parts of their commitment. I look at a lot of people and I say marriage is dead. Commitment is dead. You got a bunch of motherfuckers with no integrity, no loyalty, throw you under the bus every chance they can get, but then but then throw you a fucking bone with a little piece of meat on it and expect you to come back. Is that how you really think of your men? I'm gonna ask modern women, black women specifically, and it gets so hard to find great women these days because they're rare. Like I told Shirley, you're rare. You're gonna fight for black families and black boys, but how many of your peers will do the same? And that's what I keep getting. The shush, the hush silence. As soon as I ask that question, nobody has an answer. They said, well, if the black men come, well, the black men been here. Let's start with getting the black men back their goddamn sons. But it's a good idea when you want to throw the blame on us. The only time you want to give your children to your black men is when they're fucked up, when you're done fucking them up, when you've been leading them down the fucking pothole. And he's lucky if he has a father that's worth a damn, which a lot are. But then he's got to try to go through 15, 13, 17 years of programming. Is that fair? Hell no. Hell no. We should stop fucking treating our fucking fathers out there like they're the fucking sheriff to help you gain control. But we forgot the best possible gift a mother could give to their child is the best fucking father they can fucking produce. But no, 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 no. We want to extort our kids. We want to believe that we still hold the same value, even though you're going to be in geriatric pregnancies or basically menopause. You're going to keep spreading the lie that black men don't want to commit, but we're more married than you. 80% of you are destroying your divorces. I mean, really, if you took Kevin Samuel's fucking show as a case study, how many women fucked up their marriages compared to men? How many of them fucked up their relationships? And then when they get to a certain age, they notice they're not getting the looks they did when they were younger, which means less mates or possible mates are coming. And then after you had children, and then you have this education, which is going to give you a false sense of security or entitlement. So what happens then? All the good men are taken. You had one. The rest of these chicks out here were made mothers, but never chosen to be wives. You had something that all women envied, and you fucked it all up for little shit. It's not like, oh, he was beating the hell out of me. He was abusing the children physically or sexually. It's basically because I'm not happy. Fuck your happiness. Because as a man, there's plenty of times we got to say fuck ours. How many times we had to work late shifts, overtime, 2 jobs, sometimes 3, a side hustle and a business to provide. We say fuck our happiness. What are you going to say yours? When are you going to put your duty first? But when you get to a certain age, you feel as though that, hey, I'm still just as valuable. And I'll put that to the test. Are you getting the same results as you were when you were 21 to 25? Yes or no? Does that man honor you and make sure there's food on that goddamn table? Do you appreciate the fucking effort that he's going to put in? Hmm, a good one. Or you're going to leave him at what, 35, still trying to live a hot girl summer, but the only thing you're getting is wet ass and dry pockets. Hmm. Especially at what? The ages of 35 to 45. There's nothing more pathetic than a woman trying to buy a man. And yes, women do buy dick, so don't let them fucking fool you on that one. There's nothing more pathetic than the cougar because now she's got to make sure she's overtly sexual because she doesn't have the beauty anymore for men to approach her. Now she's got to be overtly sexualized for men to even pay attention. Whereas though the silver fox is going to be a smooth motherfucker regardless. Well, she only wants you for your money. Oh well. Oh well. So, what is going to happen in the future when you hit 35, 40, 45, and your pool of men starts shrinking lower, lower, and lower? Let your baby daddies increase. Does that make you more valuable? Or does it put you in the tone of I can't take this one seriously? Oh, you'll still have sex, But do you want to really be reduced to a sexual object? Do you want someone to actually love you for you or just love you as a sexual object? And we got to think about this. And we got to be very careful about this shit too. Very careful. Because winter is coming. I know you heard that a lot this lately, but it's very true. Winter is coming, and part of it's already here. A lot of women are not gonna come out winners in this shit. Okay, a lot of women and children are gonna feel what men go through every day, and that's the harshness of reality. And that's not something any man wants to smile and say, "Yeah, put them bitches out on the street." No, that's scary. I don't care how red pill a dude says he is. You're a cruel creature if you could watch homeless 5 year olds, homeless 10 year olds, especially when inclement weather is coming. That's not a good look. It's getting scary out there. A lot of you won't even have Social Security. For those of you who don't have a pension, who's going to take care of you? Who's going to sacrifice the hardships? Who's going to come and rescue you, not only from yourself, but from the environment and the culture? I'll wait. We're going to have to really take it upon ourselves to see, are we actually going to stand up and become a community, or we're just going to lie to everybody and say we are? Are we still going to have a responsibility to each other? We're still going to have accountability of the decisions we make as both men and women? Are we still going to play these reindeer games with emotions? Because right now, when men of mating age, marrying age, are saying hell no, that should tell you something about today's climate. No longer do you have the bushy tailed, bright eyed Negro. You're going to get that stern, indifferent, unapologetic, staunch black man who says it's either this way or no way. Don't worry, because tomorrow I'm going to give you a little preview of tomorrow when I do a live stream. Haven't decided what time yet, but I'm going to say this. The title of that shit is going to be either we lead or we leave. That's the only options. Either we lead or we leave. And I think a lot of black men should take in consideration that. If we don't, what's the point of having this community? I think every black man needs to start saying that shit. Either we lead or we leave. You're having churches trying to force single black men with no children to marry baby mamas, and those men are leaving. Either we lead or we leave. But yet, but yet, we're expected to save this community when we're not necessarily the motherfuckers tearing it apart. If Superman's not in charge of the Justice League, he doesn't save Lois. He doesn't save Metropolis. Mm-mm-mm. Go back to his Fortress of Solitude, which is appropriately named, and be happy. Let you fend for yourself. And shit might even come desperate. You got to fight over some bottled water. And you got to compete against men. And there's no man to compete for you. Either we lead or we leave. And I date nothing but black women. But at the same time, black women have made me lose my value and hope in them. Not saying I wouldn't still deal with them, but the hope I had 2 years ago is not even, it's so much lower to what it is now. It really is. You play too many games. You think you can wait. Go ahead about yourself. Go ahead about yourself. I gotta get my degree. Go get your degree. I gotta worry about my children. Go get worry about your children. When you're doing all that, make sure make sure you forget Mamba. Make sure you forget me. Because if you come back, you're gonna have to pay steeper penalties. And I'm gonna tell you, and this is something that a lot of modern men, black men in particular, need to stick by. You should have got me when I was cheap. Because if you come back with the hey big heads, you're gonna have to pay a steeper penalty. You're gonna have to pay that steeper penalty. You're gonna be held accountable. You're gonna have to hold an L and pay that price. Like I said it once and I'll say it again. The burden of performance is no longer on the black man. Sorry. It's on you, ladies. It is on you. If you want a man, we're not gonna come to impress you. You're gonna have to impress us. You're gonna have to come impress us. Because we're starting to learn how to be indifferent. Even Shonda said that's real talk. We're tired. We've shown you all the greatness that we literally piss greatness, and you can't get one of us. The burden on performance is now on you, ladies. Sorry, black men. Guess what? I don't. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't think black men ought to pay for a date until you pay for the date and prove that you are worthy of our time. Until you can cook, he shouldn't do one blessed thing for you till you prove to him what you're valued. Do you prove that he is appreciated? You already know that God will change your tire and protect you with his life. What the fuck are you bringing? You can't even bring anything that's even remotely equal to what the average man brings. I'll wait. I'll wait. can't even cook every day, but he's supposed to protect you with his life every day, right? Oh, sex only once a week or twice a month, but he's supposed to always stay in shape for you, right? He's supposed to have all these like criteria, but what the fuck do you bring? You want a man that's totally 1,000 yards, 1,000 years better than you, but you can bring your contempt, your anger, your bitterness, your arrogance, your disdain, your children, your problems, your mental illness for what? And I'm gonna tell you, if she's not willing to pay for that first date, fuck her. Why are you taking her out? She has yet to prove anything. You're a man. She knows what she's gonna get with a man, bare minimum. I don't know what I'm gonna get out of that woman. I have an innate predip- pre, predisposed definition of raising children, protecting children, and protecting women. And yeah, boy, I'm blood boiling. The only time we as a people ever move our asses is tragic. You gotta wait till a motherfucker dies tragically for shit to go well. You gotta wait till shit blows up in our faces, then we're moved. We didn't even make Black Lives Matter, but a bunch of fucking small hats and a bunch of lesbians did. And I'm still laughing my ass off that an organization named Black Lives Matter has three lesbian black women in charge of it, and at least two of them are dating white women. How about that shit? Why is it that the only time you give a fuck about black men is when they're dead, when you can exploit their image? Prove to me that you're on black men's side. The, the, Despite your age, despite your education, despite the number of children, if you have any, despite your body, when have the fuck have you been on black men's side? This is the reason why I'm gonna just say it. I'm just gonna honestly say it. If a black man pays for another fucking date, I'm gonna look at you funny. I suggest that if black women really want men and really want husbands, the first fucking date is you going somewhere, meeting up, and you cooking. You bring a fucking picnic basket of your food and you cook. And you sit down and talk. Show us that you're worth our goddamn time. The burden on performance is on you. especially since 67% who has two or more children are by two different men at least. Show us that you think we're husband material. Show us that you're wife material. Smile, be fit, cook, clean, properly teach my children while I'm teaching them as well. Be cooperative, be submissive, be loving, be caring, be supportive. Be the battery in our fucking back. Well, if a man can't do, no, no, no. If you can't cook, if you can't clean, what good are you to me? The only thing you have told me and other men is that you're pretty good at being a fucking bill. That's it. If I gotta give up my goddamn life defending you, I better be fucking worshipped like a god. Because last time I checked, even the Bible said there's no greater love than a man gives up his life for his friends. But I can't even get a fucking meal every day. I can't get respect every day, but I'm supposed to kill or die for you on sight. So why, oh why should the burden of performance be on me when you automatically know what the fuck you're gonna get base model? We're not talking about career. We're not talking about education. We're not talking about clothing. We're not even talking about sex. Base model, you already know what you're getting. So what are you willing to put down? What are you willing to put down? Oh, you can ask for my money, but you can't ask for my respect. But I can't ask you for your respect. You can ask for my protection, but I can't ask you for cooperation. And see, this is the reason why the older typically modern women get, the harder any of that criteria gets. You're too set in your ways. You don't respect masculine authority. You have a disdain. You look at him as a ATM with a dick. And people may say, oh, here you go, talk about black women again. Hey, you picking on black. I'm not picking on black women. I'm just saying, why should we even still bother with you if you don't like us? If you're not going to cooperate us, why should we still bother? We can go to Africa or the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, with women who would appreciate us. And it's funny because I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. You just refuse to take them. If black men ask the most minimal out of any man on the planet and you can't get it, you wonder why it's hard for so many black women to date outside the race? You wonder why? You wonder why the black man left the church? You wonder why the black man's ready to throw bricks at the preacher? You won't condemn that chick for having all them babies out of wedlock, but you condemn brothers with no kids and single for not marrying these heifers. Ain't that a bitch? You got guys like Creflo Dollar and others mad at Kevin Samuels, and And really, we don't even have to need to say Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels, yes, he has taken talking points from multiple different content creators, which I have no problem with. He's taken some of mine as well. So, so when a guy like Creflo Dollar speaks out against Kevin Samuels, he's really speaking about the whole black manosphere because he has the ear of the woman. And he knows if those women get married, they're not coming back to that damn church. They're not going to put that money in there. Beware of false prophets. But yet, it's cool to get you a $20 million jet, right? To spread the gospel will spread your ass wherever you want to be on this planet, right? How many schools have any of these churches opened up? I'll wait. How many black businesses and business loans have they opened up or given? I'll wait. Think about that. What am I going to get for my time, my effort, my soul? What the fuck am I worth? Am I going to be respected in my own damn household, my own damn community, my own society? Or are we still going to be hooked on stupid like we were the last 60 years? Hmm. Black people always been stuck in this country doing the same damn thing, expecting a different result. And what is that called, folks? I'll wait till somebody put it in their chat. It's never good. I'll tell you that. Doing the same damn thing every day, expecting a different result. That is what the black community has been for decades. Insanity. Thank you. It is fucking insane to say we're going to still raise our kids in a single mother home at 80%, expecting greatness. It is fucking insane to not let these children be with their fathers. It is fucking insane for all these women to have children out of childbirth. I'm excuse me, out of wedlock. And it's fucking insane not to value your men. But you know what? The saddest part about this is the crazy person usually doesn't think he's crazy. The crazy person really thinks everybody around him is lunatic is a lunatic. You rather let us go and still build a school to prison pipeline than to build schools for your young boys. You rather sabotage your son's future because you're scared of being alone. How much, how insane is that? I can't, uh-uh. You don't need to go to school. You need to get a job. I want you to think about it. You're not even You're not even encouraged to go to school. Shonda said, I saw that on Dr. T.S.on Johnson's channel, a bishop who wanted single men in the church to marry single mothers, and some of the men walked out. I don't blame the men for leaving. Stop rewarding bad mindsets. Yep, always said that. Stop rewarding bad behavior. I'm not a mean person, but guess what? Sometimes tough love is the best love. You don't want to do what I say? There's the door. You want to keep acting like black men are beneath you? Go carry that heavy ass tire when you need it changed. Oh, I need protection. Can you stay over while you protecting me? Nope. Hire a dog. Hire a guard. Call the police. Stop thinking that because you're women, you automatically get something. Stop it. That's rude. But yet, you don't give up anything in return. Back in the day, men used to be given plates of food, money, acclimates or accolades, excuse me, for helping a woman out, especially if she was a single woman. We can't even get a thank you for holding the door for you, a smile. This ain't a damn community. It's a concentration camp. And I said it. I'm going to end this. And I'm going to end this here. Please make sure you like this. You like the live stream. Please make sure if you want to donate, here's the Cash App. But I'm so pissed off of seeing and hearing some of this shit lately that I don't even know. I don't even know. Little by little, I'm losing my faith in our women. And I'm highly disappointed. Highly disappointed. If school's more important than getting a good man, go to school. And when you go to school, don't look back. Don't expect that man to be waiting for you. Men, I'm going to tell you now, if you're single and you want to go dating, she pays or she cooks first before you even take her out on a date. Think about it. She doesn't have to prove shit and she gets a free meal. Fuck that. Fuck all that. Be multifaceted. Stay thirsty. Stay frosty. Woo! Be safe. Black men and the good black women who are listening, always walk with your head held high, your chest out, and with some dignity. Woo! Stay safe. God bless. We out.